co-parenting with a narcissist, there are things you absolutely should not do when your children go back to school. And here's why. Your narcissistic or high conflict ex may provoke you. He may email the teacher about you, show up unexpectedly at school, leave you out of important decisions, accuse you of withholding information, send ridiculous messages, or try to make himself look like parent of the year while painting you as unstable, controlling, or uncooperative. And your natural response may actually be the very thing that hurts you in family court. I'm Tiffany Lesnik, family law attorney, domestic violence survivor, and founder of Live Free Legal. And today, for the final webcast in our Back to School series, I'm flipping the conversation around. We've talked about what the narcissistic or high conflict co-parent may do. Today, we're talking about you. Specifically, 7 mistakes I see good parents make when they're exhausted, triggered, scared, or desperately trying to defend themselves. Because sometimes the biggest threat to your custody case isn't the accusation your ex makes, it's how you respond to it. And stay with me because I'm also going to tell you what I believe you should do when you've prepared, documented, prayed, and you're still lying awake wondering what he's going to do next. So, number 1, what you shouldn't do, don't send the email while you're angry, right? Let's start with probably the easiest mistake to make. You're standing in the kitchen, it's 9:47 at night, your phone buzzes, you read the message, and there it is, another accusation. You failed to tell me about Meet the Teacher. You intentionally excluded me. Your behavior is damaging our child. And you're thinking, are you kidding me? You have screenshots, you have emails, you told him 3 times about Meet the Teacher. And now you're going to show him, right? So you start typing. Stop. Don't do that. Do not send the email while your nervous system is writing it. Write it out if you need to, but put it in your notes app. Save it as a draft. Don't send it or send it to yourself. Call your lawyer, call your advocate, call your support person, pray over it, sleep on it. But don't give someone who is provoking you the reaction they may be looking for. Because here's the question I want you to start asking before you hit send. Would I be comfortable if a judge read this message out loud in open court? Or would I be comfortable if I had to read this message that I wrote out loud in front of a judge in open court? And if the answer is no, don't send it. You don't have to match somebody else's energy. In family court, restraint can become evidence too. So number 2, don't turn the teacher into your therapist. This one is huge. Your ex emails the teacher and tells her you're controlling or unstable or alienating the children or impossible to co-parent with. And now you think, I have to tell her the truth. I have to set the record straight. So you write, Dear Mrs. Smith, there are some things you need to understand about my former husband. And 4 pages later, Mrs. Smith knows about your divorce, your custody trial, his affairs, his drinking problem, what his mother did to you in 2019, and why your marriage ended. Don't do that. Your teacher does not need to hear about your custody case and your personal life. She needs the information necessary to educate and protect your child. If a false statement needs to be corrected, correct that fact. If the school needs the custody order, provide the order. If there's a safety issue, communicate the safety issue. But don't recruit school personnel into your custody conflict, because when both parents are trying to convince the teacher that the other parent is crazy, sometimes what the teacher sees simply is 2 high conflict parents. You don't want that. Let your behavior speak for yourself. So number 3, don't block access just because you don't like his involvement. This one may be very difficult to hear. You may have extremely legitimate reasons for not wanting your ex involved, but your feelings about him do not determine his legal rights. Your court order does. And if he is legally entitled to educational information, don't interfere simply because you don't want him to have it. Don't remove his email from something he's entitled to receive. Don't tell the teacher he can't attend something unless your order actually says that. Don't tell the school he has no rights unless that's actually true. Because a parent who repeatedly interferes with the other parent's lawful access to information or involvement can create evidence that the other side might try to use in a custody case. And it could interfere, it could potentially harm your ability to get legal decision-making authority. So know your order. What does it actually say? Not what you wish it said, not what he says it says, but what does your order actually say? And if you're unsure, ask your attorney or seek a consultation with an attorney in your area. So number 4, don't use your children to gather evidence. This is one I want every protective parent to hear. Your child comes home and says, "Daddy talked to my teacher today." And immediately your brain starts going, what did he say? How long was he there? Was the counselor there? Did he talk about me? So you start asking questions. And sometimes we don't even realize we've crossed the line from listening to investigating, right? So be careful. Your child should not be your private investigator. Your child should not be your messenger. Your child should not be your witness in training. And your child should never feel like giving you the right information is part of keeping you safe. If your child spontaneously tells you something important, listen, but stay calm. Write down what was said later if appropriate. Talk with your lawyer or your therapist, your advocate, or your support person about how to address it. But don't conduct a deposition at the kitchen table. Your child needs one thing from you more than any other piece of evidence, and that's permission to be a child. Okay, so quick check-in, and I'm curious about this one. Which one of these is hardest for you? Just put the number in the comments, no facts about your pending case, and only if you're comfortable. Number 1, not responding when you're angry. Number 2, not defending yourself to the school. Number 3, dealing with your ex's school involvement. Or number 4, not asking your child questions. And I'm going to give you 3 more because the next one may be the most common mistake of all. So, number 5, don't document everything. Yes, you heard the lawyer say that. Stop documenting everything. Because when you're experiencing post-separation abuse or coercive control, documenting can become another full-time job. He forgot the lunchbox. Screenshot. He returned the library book late. Screenshot. He was 7 minutes late. Screenshot. He sent an annoying message. Screenshot. He looked at you funny at soccer practice. Journal entry. Pretty soon you have 14,000 screenshots and can't find the 10 that actually matter. Document patterns and legally significant events. Ask yourself, does this affect my child's health? Does it affect my child's safety, their education, their emotional welfare? Does it violate my custody order? Is there a pattern and can I independently prove it? That's very different from documenting everything your ex does that makes you angry. You're not trying to prove my ex is a narcissist. You're trying to preserve credible evidence of conduct that actually matters to your child and your custody case. So, number 6, don't take the bait at school events. This is where preparation matters. You walk into school and there he is. Maybe he's overly friendly. Maybe he's glaring at you. Maybe he's filming. Maybe he's standing next to the teacher acting like Dad of the Year. Maybe he makes a comment just loud enough for you to hear and you feel it. Your heart starts racing. Your body gets hot. Every part of you wants to respond. Don't. This is not the parking lot where you finally expose the narcissist. This is your child's school. Your goal is not to win the interaction. Your goal is to leave without becoming part of the evidence. And also, we don't want to embarrass our kids, right? We don't want their school with their friends and their teachers to become a public forum where we're embarrassing them in front of everyone that they know, okay? Be polite to the narcissist if appropriate, right? We want people to see us in a positive light and to see him in a negative light. Keep moving. Sit somewhere else if you need to. Bring a support person if that's allowed and appropriate, and have an exit plan. And if there's a legitimate safety issue or court-ordered restriction, address that through the appropriate school, legal, or emergency channels. If you have a restraining order, a protective order, or domestic violence restraining order, make sure that you have that registered with the principal or the administration of the school, and they know that he is not allowed to be there. And if he is there, notify someone at the school so that he can be removed without you being the person responsible for having him removed, okay? Don't turn Meet the Teacher into Meet the Custody Judge's future exhibit. So number 7, last one, don't confuse fear with preparation. And this last one isn't really about your custody case. It's about you. Because after you've lived through domestic violence, coercive control, narcissistic abuse, or years of high conflict co-parenting, you can start believing that being prepared means being on high alert all the time. You're lying in bed thinking, what is he going to do tomorrow? Is he going to contact the teacher? What if he shows up? What if he lies about me? What if he files something? What if the teacher believes him? What if? My clients say that all the time to me. You know, what if this happens? What if this happens? Why is he doing this? Why? And now the narcissist isn't even in your house anymore. But the chaos still is, and the control still is, because you're constantly thinking about him and what he might do next. I want you to hear this. Preparation and fear are not the same thing. Preparation says, I know my order, I have my documentation, I know what I will do if something happens. Fear says, I have to anticipate every possible thing he might do or something terrible will happen. You can't, and God doesn't ask you to. Isaiah 26:3 says, you keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. Notice what that verse does not say. You will have peace when your ex behaves. You will have peace when the custody case ends. You will have peace when the teacher finally realizes you're telling the truth. No, your peace cannot depend upon whether another human being decides to behave. There comes a point when you have to say, God, I have done what I can do today. The rest belongs to you. I can know my order. I can communicate wisely. I can document what matters. I can protect my children. And I can call my lawyer when I need help. But I do not have to spend tonight fighting a battle that hasn't even happened yet. We have a saying in my office, worry is a waste of time, right? And maybe that's the sentence somebody watching needs today. You don't have to fight tomorrow's battle tonight. Be prepared, be wise, but don't let somebody else's chaos become the atmosphere of your home. And that is exactly why I created Live Free Legal. I don't want women simply surviving from one custody crisis to the next. I want you to understand the system. I want you to recognize the traps. I want you to know what matters legally and what doesn't. And I want you to learn how to walk through this with strategy, credibility, wisdom, and faith. And I have a personal favor to ask you. We are building something pretty incredible here at Live Free Legal, and my goal is to reach 2,000 YouTube subscribers by the end of this year, so December of 2026. But I don't just want a number. I want 2,000 women who are learning how to navigate family court differently, or 2,000 people who are helping women, maybe sisters, daughters, friends, neighbors, sisters in Christ, helping them learn how to navigate family court differently. So if you've watched this back to school series and thought, finally, somebody understands what this is actually like, hit subscribe. It's free. It helps this information reach more women who need to hear it. And then send this video to one woman, maybe two or three, who is co-parenting with a narcissist or high conflict ex. Because if every woman watching helps one other woman finds this community, imagine how many women we can reach before the end of this year. And before you go, tell me in the comments, again, if you're comfortable, don't share any personal information, which one are you going to stop doing this school year? Just give me the number, no details about your case. And remember, you don't have to announce your credibility. Build it. You don't have to fight every battle. Choose the ones that matter. And you don't have to fight tomorrow's battle tonight. Do what is yours to do and trust God with the rest. I'll see you next week. I have a webcast every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube at Live Free Legal. See you then.